can we finally give the man the respect that he's been deserving, in my opinion, for years? For years, guys. The title of GOAT. Novak Djokovic has been working for the longest time to get the world's respect. We know that Roger and Rafa have had it for a long, long time, and there's been a lot of refusal in the tennis world to admit that Djokovic, out of the three, is actually the best player. Now, when it comes to playing across all surfaces and winning head-to-head matchups and winning the most Grand Slams over the last 10, 11, 12 years, being number one in the world the longest amount of time in the last 10, 11, 12 years, winning the most Masters 1,500 titles over the last 10 to 12 years, it's been one guy over and over and over again. Novak Djokovic, who I happen to like for whatever reason. Some people in the comment section think that I'm a Novak hater, but I am not. Very, very happy for Novak. And I thought that this was one of the best French Opens that we've had in a long, long time. It would have been really, really nice to see Rafael Nadal continue to be the king of clay. I love Rafa too. That's my problem. I kind of love all these people. I felt really bad for Tsitsipas yesterday. Love Tsitsipas. Really, really hope he can get a Grand Slam title very, very soon. I really think he deserves one. But, you know, this is what we've been seeing for the longest time. What was Novak Djokovic's speech, which we've heard over and over again to runner-up winners, is, you're working really hard. You're doing a great job. You're going to win many of these. You're going to have many, many chances. And for 20 years, guess what? Only 3 people have really had a chance to win these Grand Slam titles. Novak, Roger, Rafa. They have ruined and wrecked so many careers. I really, really hope that Tsitsipas is not another fatality in the destruction of ATP players. So thank you for coming live. I thought you'd never come. Yesterday was the best day of your life. Well, congratulations, Sunflowers Inferno. Yeah, I don't know why people are concerned or worried that somehow I don't like Novak or don't give Novak his just due. I've been saying you can look back years. You can find years ago. I did a live stream and I said Novak was the GOAT before he even, was even this close to Rafa and Roger in the Grand Slam total count. Now it's so tight, guys. We got Roger at 20, Rafa at 20. This is a big blow to Rafa. We can see Rafa is still the dominant force on clay. He had a great clay court season. His match with Novak was epic this year. He still certainly can win, but you can see it is getting harder to do. The young guns are playing better and better. They're getting stronger and stronger, and Rafa can be worn down. I think that the difference in that Novak-Rafa match was they had that epic third set, and Rafa he kept trying. It's not like he gave up, but he just couldn't keep the same energy level. He couldn't keep playing epic battle points after epic battle points with Novak. And so he just fell a little bit, and Novak jumped on that opportunity and took out Rafa. So Rafa is seeming to have trouble going to that next gear in certain moments now, where he's getting a little tired, a little fatigued, ever so slightly. And Novak seems to get stronger in these moments. He seems to thrive. The harder, the longer the match goes, the more grueling the points are. Novak likes it. And he just takes his opponents down in the mud with him and pushes their head in there and says, how long can you stay down there with me? And people can do it for 2 sets. Tsitsipas said, I've learned one thing about finals in majors. You have to win 3, not 2. He won the first 2. It was amazing tennis. His level dropped a little bit. Novak's level went up. We saw it all tournament long from the great Novak Djokovic. And Djokovic's coach, Marian Veit, he can finish, which I have been saying, if you've listened to my live streams, I've been saying for 2 weeks now that this French Open was so important for the history of tennis when it comes to the GOAT race. Because if Nadal would have won against Novak and would have been able to beat Tsitsipas, today we would be saying Nadal is officially the GOAT, and there would be little that anybody could argue, because he would have had to beat Novak. He would have won 14. Not that he needs to win any more French Opens. 13 is already pretty damn obscene. But he would have had 14 French Opens, and he would have had 21 Grand Slam titles, the most. And so we'd have to, just off sheer numbers, say, yes, Rafa, you're the GOAT. But with Novak winning and closing the gap and getting to 19, now the conversation changes drastically, because when's the next shot Rafa's going to have? Do you give him a shot on grass? I don't give Rafa the shot on grass. I don't think he's going to win Wimbledon. Can he win the U.S. Open? He plays pretty damn good at the U.S. Open. So Rafa could win the U.S. Open, get 21. But Novak's got a real shot here, guys, to just end any debate at all. Like, I already don't think it's much of a debate. I think Novak clearly is the best player out of these three. He has a winning record against the two other GOATs. And, you know, probably when you probably look from age 18 to 25, Roger and Rafa have a better showing at the Grand Slams. That's how they got their head start. But if you look at their careers from 25 to 30, I'm sure you're going to see Novak has, and I haven't verified this, but I'm pretty sure you're going to see Novak has more Grand Slam titles than those two. And certainly 30 to 34, 35 and on, Novak's been performing the best and winning the most amount of majors. He just keeps pouring it on and on and on with no end in sight. So he's got a real opportunity to go Wimbledon, 20. Now it's a three-way tie. You could argue, you could say, hey, all three have 20. They're all the GOATs. We've got a three-way tie for GOAT. And wouldn't that be cool if somehow they all stayed there? That would be amazing. I would love that. I would love it. And then the debate could continue back and forth and back and forth. But Novak could end all debates at the U.S. Open. He could finish, win a Grand Slam, win the Grand Slam, the Golden Slam at age 34, which would be just sick. And he could have now 21 Grand Slam titles. That is absolutely 100% possible. And that's the thing, again, where the GOAT debate, you know, begins and ends with me. Just the sheer fact that if Novak's going to the Australian Open, who are you going to honestly pick as your favorite? You're going to put Novak at the top of the list when they play Australia. When they play the French Open, you're going to put Rafa there. But then who else has a legit chance to win? Novak, obviously, and he did it. He's the only person to beat Rafa 2 times there. When they go to Wimbledon, who's near the top of the list? Roger and Novak. When you go to the U.S. Open, who's the top of your list? You know, usually you think about 3 there. You think Roger has a chance, though he hasn't won that U.S. Open in a long time, but he's pretty damn good on a hard court. So you go, Roger has a chance, Rafa has a chance, and Novak has a chance. It doesn't matter where you go around the world, Novak's always at the top of your list. Okay? He's always at the top of the list, no matter what surface it is, where it is, doesn't matter. Novak can win that tournament. So I think you got to go Novak the GOAT. You got to do it. You got to do it. Let's see. Let's read some comments. Let's see if we have Novak love. If we see how much Novak is getting the love this morning. Bathroom break cheater, says Wally friend, raining on Novak's parade. Did that again to Tsitsipas. I called that. You did call it. and then he juiced up. I don't think so. I'm not going to go there. I'm not even going there. All right, Bashkar says, hey, Pete, Roger has to win Wimbledon. He absolutely has to win Wimbledon. If Roger wins Wimbledon, that would be pretty epic. If Roger can win Wimbledon, that would be amazing at age 39 to go in there and win Wimbledon. Does that then all of a sudden flip-flop what we're saying today? And then he's got 21, and now all of a sudden Roger's the GOAT. I mean, 39 years old. You know, he sees his title. He sees his title of GOAT, you know, being challenged right before him. And then he turns around and wins Wimbledon after pretty much 2 years of not playing. Does that make him the GOAT? I don't know. I don't know. When he has 21 and no one else has 21, he'll be the GOAT on paper for at least a little while. I still think this thing's heading in Novak's direction. I think it's inevitable. Even if Roger can, you know, have people thinking again that Roger is the GOAT by winning Wimbledon this year, I think this is going one direction, guys, long term, okay? What do you think about Medvedev and Tsitsipas game on grass? I really don't know. I don't know how Medvedev's going to do on grass. I don't know how Tsitsipas is going to do on grass. All I can tell you is I freaking love Tsitsipas. Or as my mom calls him, Itchy Pass. Or Usi Puss is what she said. Yeah, like she's butchered his name. But I'll tell you what, she liked him. He's got the star quality, was what I said. He's so likable, this guy. I loved his effort. Did you know that he dedicated yesterday's effort to his grandmother who died 5 minutes before the match? And he wanted to thank her for being such a great liver of life, for teaching him so many life lessons, and for giving him his dad, who he said would not be possible. I would not be here without my dad. Okay? Just giving me goosebumps just there talking about that right there. I mean, and Tsitsipas just laid it all out there. I was so happy to see him show up, which I knew he would. I called it. I said, he's not going to be overwhelmed by the situation. He's going to show up. He's going to bring his A game. It's going to be an epic battle. This kid's ready to win a Grand Slam. And he was so, so close. There's just one problem. When you're 18, 19, 21, 22, and you're trying to win a Grand Slam, your first one in this era, you have to take it from one of the greatest players who has ever played the game. That's really, really tough. That's really, really tough. And so far, people just cannot do it. They cannot do it. And we keep waiting for it. I really, 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 really hope that Tsitsipas finds an extra level. I don't know how the hell you do it. When he was crying in his towel, I was just kind of thinking, I don't know what he's thinking, but I would have been thinking, oh my God, you mean I have to work even harder than this? Like, I mean, think about what Tsitsipas has been doing the last 7-8 months. He's been grinding, guys. He's been playing almost every tournament. He's been going deep in almost every tournament. He's been winning tournaments. He's been training his butt off. He's been focused. He's been single-minded. He's been doing that, right? You know, after this live stream, just try and stay focused for 30 minutes in a meditation and see how you do, right? Try and just have one singular thought for 30 minutes and see how you do. Well, these tennis players, that's what they've got to do. They've got to be in a constant state of like focus if they want to actually break through. How hard is it to break through? It's so hard that Novak had the longest time before he broke through, and he got so obsessed, he changed his diet completely, and even he would sit in silence in the dark and eat. That's how focused he thought he needed to get to finally believe that he could beat Roger and Rafa. He just didn't believe for the longest time that he could beat Roger and Rafa. And so he just went extremely dark, literally with his training, just got so focused until he built up his mind into such a strong muscle that he finally believed. And once he had that breakthrough, he's just been pouring it on for the last 12 years. You know, Does he have to work that hard today? I don't know if he has to stay that focused. I don't know if he figured out a better life balance like Roger seems to have. But for a while, there's no way Novak had that life balance. And I know right now there's no way Tsitsipas has life balance going on. I know he's just laser focused on breaking through and winning a Grand Slam. And I just pray he gets his prayers answered soon, because how long can you do it? Ask Dominic Thiem. It took him a Herculean effort to finally win a Grand Slam. And the only way he could do it was Roger didn't show up, Rafa didn't show up, and Novak hit a lady in the throat with a tennis ball and got defaulted. And Zverev helped him out a little bit there. Got up 2 sets, let him back in the match, and then he won. And then after he won, he's been exhausted ever since. He's like, man, I worked this hard for this. Not as great as I thought it would be. And I think the longer you have to wait, a lot of times people think, well, the longer you wait, the sweeter it is. Maybe for that moment. But I think then again, when you've been going so long, you keep getting denied year after year after year after year, and you finally break through. I think you're just like, shoo, man, that was awesome. I'm super proud of myself. I won, but I'm kind of done like working this hard. I'm kind of done working this hard. But when you're Roger, Rafa, Novak, and you're just used to winning, and it becomes such a habit, and you get accustomed to it, and you enjoy it, and people saying you're the GOAT, I think that's a different thing. Yes, it's hard, but I think it's easier because you believe in yourself and you know what to do in those situations, and you're pretty sure it's going to work and you're going to prevail again. And then you get to hold the trophy again and again and again, and it becomes an addiction and you just expect it to happen. I think that's different than working your ass off tournament after tournament after tournament and losing, and people telling you, oh, keep working, your day's coming, you're going to get plenty of chances. And you just keep thinking, am I? Really? Because for 20 years, you guys have been saying this, and you all keep winning, and you keep telling us we're going to have plenty of chances, but then you keep showing up and beating us. It's very, very, it's just so, I mean, even me just thinking, if I was a player on the tour, how frustrating would I be? I mean, and that's where you kind of like go, okay, maybe Kyrgios has it right when he's like, look, I'm not working that hard, because if I work that hard, they're still going to win, and so I'm just going to party and make millions, and I'm not going to stress about it. Imagine Rafa won 14 Grand Slams, equaling Pete Sampras's 14 Grand Slams. I know I've been saying that. I'm like, how amazing accomplishment. I think Rafa still at 13 is the single greatest accomplishment in sports. 13 Grand Slams on one surface. I don't know about any other sport where you can compare that. Nole has a double career slam and has won all 4 in a row. Yeah, Novak's amazing. Nadal is a done deal. Come on. Bashkar, I'm going to see you in a couple weeks. I love you, but come on, dude. Nadal is not a done deal. That's one thing the GOATs have taught us too. Don't start writing their obituary, guys. Don't start saying they can't, because then they show you over and over again, I can, and I will, and I did. So, look, guys, Rafa's gone through slumps to where he has not won a tournament in 18 months. He's done that. And then he came back and dominated. You guys forget that part of his career. Rafa, people were writing his obituary at the beginning of this clay court season when he lost to Rublev. What ended up happening? He ended up winning 2 of the tournaments, and he had an epic battle against Novak in the semifinals. He was right there. And you know what? Who knows? That's the $1 million question. If Rafa would have won that 3rd set, which he easily could have done, he had his chances. If he just won one of those massively important points at the right time, and he won that heartbreaking 3rd set, would Novak have been able to keep his level of energy up, or would that have exhausted him? Would that have been the nail in the coffin, or would Novak have kept going into the 4th? Obviously, Rafa, it affected him. He just couldn't muster up the same energy point in and point out. But I think Rafa's going to have a real shot in 2022 for the French Open. I think he's going to have a real shot. Guys, people don't give him enough respect on that U.S. Open court. He's pretty damn good at that U.S. Open court. He's got a real shot to win the U.S. Open, too. Trust me, my friend, Novak is the greatest tennis player of all time. Okay. These haters are unbelievable. Tsitsipas went to the bathroom as well, and he took. Okay. All right. That's fair. As much as Novak shortened the gap on the Grand Slam, I guess he is achieving the double Grand Slam career, holds as much weight as the GOAT debate as well. Shed some light on that. Yeah, I mean, Novak, look, he's done it so many. That's my point I was making earlier. Like, whenever there's a Grand Slam event, Novak is at the top of the list of having a real shot to win it. If you got money in your pocket and you like to gamble, Novak's probably the best bet on every single surface. So that, again, shows me that he is the GOAT. He's the GOAT. The only thing that Rafa fans and Roger fans can shove in Novak fans' face is, look, he still doesn't have 20. He still doesn't have 20, but he's got 19. And if he would have started winning earlier, he would already be flying past these guys. It just took him longer to get started. But once he got started, no one's been winning at the rapid pace and sustained it as long as Novak. Okay, just facts. Okay, every major changes the conversation. A few months ago, we were saying that Nadal might be the GOAT. Right now, Novak looks more on track, but that could change again. Yes, it could change again. But if we're looking at a graph over the last 12 years, and this is why I've been saying this for a long time. Go back. Whether you're a Rafa fan, a Roger fan, or a Novak fan, you want to question me. So many live streams, I've been saying for the longest time that I think Novak overall has the best all-around game. He has an unbeatable game. Roger's got the prettiest game. Rafa's got the toughest ball in tennis with that topspin forehand. But overall, the most unbeatable player time and time again, and it proves to win a lot of matches, is Novak Djokovic. My non-professional opinion observation is that Novak is the best strategist. He doesn't have an overpowering or unbelievable shot like Nadal or Fed. He just adjusts enough to make his opponent. Yeah, but don't underestimate. His serve is a lot better than you guys think. I got to watch him fourth row, Rod Laver Arena. That serves a lot better than you think it is. That backhand up the line is sick. His movement is an absolute devastating weapon. His touch drop shot from the baseline is becoming a dagger in the heart. Look how many times he was able to pull that drop shot off from the baseline and win those little cat and mouse wars against Tsitsipas. And then Tsitsipas will try the same thing to him. And look how good he is at running forward. This is a real skill you got to have in today's game because they're so good at hitting cross court, down the line, defense, offense, impossible breakthrough. And then that drop shot really opens up things. Lots of times the drop shot is the point ender more than a winner. And Djokovic is great at initiating the drop shot, and he's amazing at reacting to the drop shot and then doing something special. I mean, that one of the last ones in that fifth set when he ran up and hit that little angle forehand drop shot after Tsitsipas hit an unbelievable drop shot, probably one of the best drop shots of Tsitsipas's entire life. And what Djokovic did with that ball was just amazing. Okay, guys, I'm going to have to leave here soon. I'll read a couple more comments, but I am teaching, so I got to dress and get out of here. McEnroe had his head in his hands for 2 hours straight after his loss to Borg. Tsitsipas has the right mindset. Good stuff. Do you think that Novak has this weird strategy of being on autopilot for 2 sets and then sits and takes over? I don't know. Wired strategy, weird strategy. I don't know what you mean by that, but certainly was a trend this, it's not always a trend, but it was certainly a trend this French Open. The story of this French Open is you got to win 3 sets against Novak, not 2, because Musetti, again, was out battling Novak, and Novak came back and won. And here's what I'll say again. which got me in a little bit of trouble with Novak fans. I said, Novak, you are lucky to survive and to get through that match. I didn't mean like Novak, you're not in great, amazing shape. Novak, you didn't deserve to win. I just meant you were lucky to be able to get out of that. You know, you were losing a lot of those big battles, and Musetti was out battling for 2 sets. And so when you win those 3 sets straight, you feel lucky. Again, yesterday, I'm sure you asked Novak, hey, did you deserve to win? Absolutely. Do you feel fortunate to win after being down 2 sets? Because they showed on the screen how much it's been done in the history of tennis, Grand Slam finals. It's like 5 or 6 matches in the history of tennis. So, hey, Novak, do you feel fortunate? Do you feel a little lucky to come back against 2 sets against Tsitsipas, who's really, really freaking hungry and wants to win? I bet you Novak, without a doubt, say, absolutely, I feel lucky. Absolutely, I feel fortunate. So, you know, but doesn't mean there's zero skill involved. Doesn't mean that he's not the fighter of all fighters. I've been saying also that Novak and Rafa, the 2 most mentally tough tennis players in the history of the game, ahead of Roger. Yes, ahead of Roger, who is my favorite. Hi, Coach. Which of Novak's matches you enjoyed? Semifinal against Nadal or final? I mean, that semifinal, the 3rd set against Rafa was one of the best sets of tennis ever played. Ever played that 3rd set. Everybody saw today that the weather, the heat, the biggest opponent from Novak, he beat the King of Clay in the night session to Paris. That's why I say every time. Djokovic's biggest opponent is always weather, wind, and sun. Djokovic destroyed Federer Nadal dominance. You think that's the real reason people hate him? Absolutely. They also, I guess, you know, I love Novak, especially behind the scenes. Did you see yesterday? Here's one of the reasons why people don't like Novak. His celebration is a little bit like intimidating. His celebration when he wins is a little bit intimidating, okay? But then did you see what he did? He gave his racket to a boy who is a big Novak fan, and Novak was crying. I mean, not Novak was crying. The boy was crying. The boy was smiling and crying. So imagine that moment if you're a fan. Novak took his winning racket and handed it to a kid. Novak's great with the kids, but his celebration, I guess, if you're not already a big Novak fan, his celebration is a little bit like, can you tone that down a little bit? Like Rogers is classy and elegant. Rafa's got this. I mean, Novak's always like, you know, it's like when he started to beat who people did not want to see, that breakup of that bromance between Roger and Rafa and that dominance. And when he started to beat them, he would sometimes rip his shirt off. You know, like I think that also turned people off to Djokovic. But overall, if you watch Djokovic interview after interview, if you see what he does behind the scenes with the kids, with charity, this is a good person. I love Novak Djokovic, and I'm happy for you. And I've got to run because I've got to go teach some tennis to obsessed tennis players like you. I did see Mark Davis, who's one of the biggest Djokovic fans. I want to see what he had to say. I thought I saw Mark Davis. Did I not see Mark Davis? Oh, that's Mark Dilag. Tsitsipas hiring Serena's coach to help them a lot. Absolutely. All right, guys. I've got to run. Smash up the like button. Let me know your thoughts if you're watching this afterwards. Is Novak the GOAT? Gotta go.